if you want to get faster in the 800 meter race, you have to stop with the overthinking. And this doesn't just go for the 800. This is getting faster in general or just becoming better at anything. You have to stop with the overthinking because it's going to just limit you and hold you down all the time. And a lot of you newcomers, especially the people who are in here for a week or a month, have been really overthinking a lot to where if they don't see progress, oh my gosh, they start quitting. I got to get them their 9 to 5 McDonald's job applications because they're going to start quitting and not go to college. Honestly, the ones who do show up every single day, do your daily checklist, run every single day, do your outreaches to your college coaches, you guys are progressing, and I see it through you guys. When we hop on calls or when we text each other, I can tell that you guys are progressing, that you're doing the daily checklist because you are seeing the results. And it's only about staying consistent and knowing that it's going to take as long as it takes. And all the runners who are going sub 2 understand that. I understood that. When I was a runner running 2:16, I knew it was going to take me months to maybe years to do it. And I didn't care. I was prepared for it. But I knew that it was going to happen no matter what. If I just stayed faithful to my training, if I just showed up and did the things I needed to do every day, and I did the things, and I created what's called a daily checklist, for those of you guys who do not know, and you need to complete it every single day. It's only a simple few things that you're just staying consistent with, checking it off, doing them, and staying consistent over a long period of time, you will see the progress. There's no need to overthink it. That's why I created the checklist. So you don't have to overthink. You just take the action, complete it, and then you can do more afterwards. So a couple of runners, and it's what I'm thinking about particularly. He was thinking a lot about his heart rate and trying to say that, oh, my heart rate isn't where it's supposed to be. It's not in the range that I'm supposed to be when I'm running in this pace. It's going up a lot higher. And I said, hey, man, the heart rate is going to be there. It's just going to take some time for your pace, for your body to adjust to the pace. So you just have to keep on going with the pace, staying consistent with it. The pace that I gave you, that's going to help you PR. And a lot of you are overthinking about the heart rate. And it's something that you guys can overcomplicate so much to where it can really, really not help you progress. Because you're overthinking about where your heart rate should be. There's not a certain range that your heart rate needs to be. It's what pace is your body going at? And are you adjusting to it? And that's really what you have to think about and focus on every single day. Another runner also brought this up, but then he was starting to talk about how he wants to get better at the 800. And then he said he wanted to get better at the mile. And I was like, okay, man, that's acceptable. Focus on those two events. But then he said he wanted to get better at the 2 mile. And then he even said he wanted to get better at the 5K. I'm not going to name names, but you can't get better at all 4 events. And he started to overthink it. He wanted to fix the problem, which he thought the problem was his heart rate. And he was asking me, how does he get his heart rate lower so that he can get faster at these events? And you guys got to stop thinking about all these other technical things like strength training and how certain things are just going to get you faster. It's everything that you do. And don't overcomplicate the heart rate. All you got to do is focus on the 800 and the mile, or the 800 and the 400. Or you could become a miler and 2 miler. But there's got to be an event where you're either going up from it or you're going down from it. That's it. And it's supposed to be either 800 or mile or 800, 400. Focus on that. Because when you're trying to do so many things, yeah, you're going to progress, but it's going to be so much slower than all the other students inside this program who are just focusing on the 800. The more you put your mind to something, the more it's going to expand and the more you're going to get better at that. So to all the runners out here who are completing their daily checklists that are going to help them become faster 800-meter runners, they're going to surpass you way before you get faster at any of those events. So that's another thing. And there's even a teammate of mine that is overthinking a lot. And he's been doing this ever since I knew him. And he's starting to get to the point where he realizes that, okay, this overthinking is actually making him slower. It's actually not helping him progress. And he was doing it ever since I first met him, because he used to be a runner who ran sub 2. He used to be running sub 2, and I think he did it a couple times in high school. But then once he got to college, it wasn't happening. He overthought it. He would jump from sprint coaches to distance coaches because he thought his training is what mattered, and that was going to help him get faster. So he would jump back and forth to it. And he was hopping back and forth like a frog, and that's not going to get you anywhere faster. So you have to stay faithful to the program, to the checklist. Stay faithful to your coach's plan. and start not making excuses that it's this coach or it's that coach, or maybe it's this thing I'm doing or this, that, and trying to figure out everything in your brain, because you're just going to tire it out. So you got to stop and relax. And especially with him, he even had injury problems that he wasn't even focusing on that needed to be resolved first. And he wasn't doing so for months and months and months. And I told him, I was like, hey man, you got to resolve these injuries. You're not even going to the trainers, and you're not going to PT. You're not even stretching after workouts. You really think you're going to get better? You really think you're going to progress? And he's just a runner who actually cares about getting faster. And I asked him, you really think you're going to get faster if you don't do any of this stuff? Because really, you're going to get worse. And the injuries are going to build up, tighten up even more. But he started to fix the problem. He started going to PT and trainers and, going to doing yoga and starting to relieve those muscles. But now he's starting to get to the point where, yeah, I'm fixing that, but now my brain is overcomplicating everything. And I said, well, what do you think about when a night before a race or before you race? Oh, well, I'm thinking about am I going to run this time? What if I run this time? What if I run this slow? Or what if this person beats me? What if another person beats me? Or what if my back tightens up? Or what if I get injured again? Or what if I have to this and this and that? A lot of things that he was overthinking. I said, hey man, well, maybe it's something that it needs to be resolved where you go to therapy. And he said, well, I tried that. I tried therapy. It didn't really work for me. Some people it did work with, but then he couldn't really keep continuing to get therapy from that people. And then a lot of therapists didn't work out. But I was like, hey man, you gotta try a couple more things with overthinking. And I really did talk about what we do in the 30-day focus challenge. So the 30-day focus challenge, if you haven't been doing that, it's something where you just cut out all the distractions and you really just focus on one thing at a time. But then he was giving me the excuse about ADHD and how he can't really focus on one thing. I was like, okay, man, maybe it's something about faith. Maybe it's a religious issue. Maybe you do believe in God, right? And he said, yeah, well, I don't go to church or anything like that. But I was like, maybe you go with me. That's something that relieves a lot of anxiety or stress from my life or overthinking from my life. So I offer new things to try, because you have to keep trying to resolve an issue. You have to keep seeking the answers, especially for you students in the program. If you don't know what to do next, let me know. It's usually going to be in the course material, but I can always guide you to what the course is. So I have to tell them, just try it. Just try it, see how it goes. Try it for a couple of weeks and see if it fixes the problem. And let's see if that works. I mean, we're doing the process right now, and maybe it'll work, maybe we're not, but we'll try something else. And it's not like I'm going to obsess over this, because I'm going to focus more on the students in the program. So that's another thing. Just don't overthink it. All you have to do is accomplish your daily checklist. Start the 30-day focus challenge. I highly recommend it. You're going to limit all the distractions, cut out all of that. And you're going to realize by day 14 how much you're focused, how much you're more aware, and how much quicker you can get things done. And it's like a superpower, honestly. You're going to be able to get done a lot more things. That's only from a couple of weeks. Imagine what you could do in a couple of months. You start becoming really quick with everything. So do those two things, and then start implementing a timer method where all you do is you set a timer on your phone. Start out with just 15 to 20 minutes, but you're going to focus on just one task, whether that be stretching, whether that be rolling out, whether that be you're running, whether that be ice bathing, whether that be schoolwork. I'm just going to set aside 15 minutes. I'm going to cut out all this distraction. I'm going to put away my phone. I'm going to put away everything else, and I'm just going to have the work in front of me, and I'm just going to do it to the best of my ability. And that's what you're going to do. The timer method helps you to focus on one thing. And screw multitasking. Multitasking does not work. The only thing I recommend multitasking with is either listening to something while you're doing something easy. And that's why I recommend these brain foods should be listened to only when you're like doing the dishes. Only when you have to do these daily chores where you can listen to something and actually integrate it into your brain. And doing something like the dishes, or if you have to walk to school, walk to the bus, walk to the train, something like this to listen to is beneficial. Whenever you have free time, if you have to wait for the bus, if you have to wait for something, if something comes up in your day and you're waiting and you have nothing to do, or you have to walk to somewhere, just go and listen to the brain foods, because it's something that you can integrate and get from the day. And I recommend you definitely implement all these daily lessons, all these brain foods every single day. So like I said, multitasking sucks. Don't go with the multitasking. If you want to try it, try it. But I told you already, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me. I really did not see a good impact from it. I tried to listen to podcasts and do something at the same time, like work. I tried to do work and do another task at the same time, right? It's not going to work. You're not going to have all your focus on this one thing to where you can accomplish it a lot much more quickly. So for the timer method, you're going to set aside a time for that day and you're going to accomplish the work. So do the daily checklist, do the 30-day focus challenge, and start implementing the timer method and stop the overthinking, all right? It's going to take as long as it takes, but you keep showing up every day and it will get better. You will see our progress and you will become a better athlete. Now, I want to end off on this final note that how you do one thing is how you do everything, okay? How you do one thing is how you do everything. And I've said this before in my lessons, and it's so important because, like I said, my teammate was a sub 2 runner when I was nowhere near sub 2, but now I'm running faster than him. And how can this be? Because I took everything that I did and I did it to the best of my ability every single day. It can be as simple as washing the dishes. How do I wash the dishes better? And even getting in straight A's in school, that's why I recommend all of you to strive to do it. If you strive to become better in your class, if you strive to become the best student in your school, there's no possible way that you won't be able to do that in track as well. I try it, try it. I recommend trying everything, but you should try this. If you become the best student in your class, you're going to end up becoming the best student in your track. It's going to happen. It's going to mirror itself. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. You gotta have that pressure on yourself to reach a certain goal to where all you have to do is focus on that goal. Now, implement these things, stop the overthinking, and you will become a better athlete and become a lot much more efficient, and you will see the real progress in this program.